B brings up Jalen Hurts, kind of brings me to one of my talking points I wanted to get to with you. Did Jalen Hurts silence his haters? Super Bowl champion and now Super Bowl MVP.
I think he
Jackson, a
saw
lot of people.
I think he silenced his haters with that magical 2022 season, and like to me, at least with me, he did.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I think Jalen Hurts is fine, because I mean, like the way that they got to the playoffs 2021, that was huge. And for those who don't remember, the 2020 NFL draft, the talking point was, oh well, the Eagles are making a mistake drafting Jalen Hurts. Well, here's
Hmm.
the reason why. They knew they screwed the pooch when signing Carson Wentz to that massive $100 million extension. Why? Because
Hmm.
Carson Wentz was injury prone. 2017, it was, oh, well, cut Carson Wentz some slack. He got the Eagles to Super Bowl, even though he wasn't on the field during the playoffs. Still, though, they're the number one seed because of him. Yeah, but like Nick Foles is basically the 2017-18 equivalent of Jim Plunkett, where when you look back at like the Raiders for 1980 and 1983, I believe, Plunkett was the backup quarterback, stepping up for the Raiders, winning those Super Bowls. His stats were god awful,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
he got two Super Bowls, and that's what history remembers. And Wentz, yet again, got hurt at the tail end of the 2018 season. Eagles were
Hmm.
falling behind in the wild card berth. Guess what? Nick Foles leading them onto a winning streak. And like the Eagles, they realized they screwed up after 2019 by giving them that massive extension. And it's like, you know what? We got to get Jalen Hurts, but we're just gonna pick
Hmm.
this guy. And luckily, it was the right call. It was the right call.
Hmm. Hmm. And the reason why this is want to bring this up as a talking point because Jackson, I know you just said after he took him on that Super Bowl run a couple years ago, he kind of put to bed any debate. For me and a lot of people, even though he had made the Super Bowl, I was still on the fence about him. And here's why. Because Jalen Hurts, you know, showed at times he could revert back to the bad Jalen Hurts. We had seen it a couple times before. And to his credit, in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, he was fantastic. He was not the reason for that. But in the playoffs last year, he didn't help matters any. And down the stretch, Jackson, he looked horrendous. Fumbling, throwing picks, most turnovers in his career. And it just kind of was like, is Jalen Hurts the guy, or is he a product of what he has around him? And we fast forward to this year, him winning the Super Bowl, like, kind of put to bed a lot of his haters, his doubters, because it was like he had one bad year. Look, he kind of wrote them all, and I'm happy to eat crow for it because I was one of those that was thinking, Jalen Hurts had one magical MVP year. Flukes happen, but now that he's won the Super Bowl, I have no choice but to acknowledge he's legit. He's the future of Philly. And he silenced me. He silenced a lot of his doubters. I'll be the first to admit I was one of his biggest ones, saying I didn't think he was all that. I thought it was because of what he had around him. So I'm eating my crow now. Jalen Hurts is all that and a bag of chips. He's everything that he says he's is to be.
I'll tell you like another draft pick that really worked out. And, for those who look back at the 2024 NFL draft, the rookie Cooper DeJean. How many teams
Mm,
are looking at Cooper DeJean going, wow, we had a chance to get him and we didn't get him? Nothing. Zero.
mhm.
Zero. We missed out on this
Well,
man.
and real quick, Jackson, Cooper DeJean wasn't the original starter. If you remember, it was Allen. I think it was Darby, not Darby. They had another person in his place before he got the start in after he got injured. So Cooper DeJean kind of had to make the most of his opportunity because Philly wasn't quite exactly didn't give him the opportunity. He had to earn it.
Mhm. There you go.
I mean, which by all counts, good for him. But I will say, and B Bean just said, I just clipped that Austin LOL. Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Mm. Oh,
Hey,
and here's the funny part. When he scored that touchdown off that pit sits off Pat Mahomes, it was on his birthday, as a matter of fact.
mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at his career so far, and he was the first player since fellow Eagles Steve Van Buren in 1947 to score a touchdown in a championship game on his birthday. That was in the 47 NFL championship game where the Eagles unfortunately lost to the Chicago Cardinals at that time, but still, that was still pretty good. I mean, it,
Mm-hmm. And to B Bean's point, real fast, Jackson, as he said, he just clipped me. Well, you know what, B Bean? Clip away. And here's another clip for you, B Bean. I was wrong about Jalen Hurts. He is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL to date. There's your clip. Go for it.
there you go. There you go. Put it on whatever app you want to, man.